So using satellite imagery, I found something that shouldn't exist. A man-made structure sitting deep in one of the most remote parts of the Sahara Desert. There are no roads, trails, or settlements anywhere nearby. So at first, this location doesn't make any sense. But then I found something else. Sat not far away is a remote mountaintop, scattered with what appears to be thousands of ruins. But what's even stranger is there are no records of this site anywhere to be found. Now looking today, neither of these sites' locations make any sense. They're remote, desolate, and would be extremely hard to build anything in, never mind live in. But 10,000 years ago, when the Sahara was lush and green, these could have been the perfect places to build. So what if these sites are linked to one of the biggest unsolved questions in human history? What if these are traces of the lost civilization of the Green Sahara? To find out, I decided to head out on an epic adventure to try reach and explore these sites in person. But this would be a difficult and dangerous journey. So I teamed up with local guide and absolute legend Mustafa, and together we drove out to the first structure. But now reaching this site would not be easy. Hidden deep in this remote mountain range, there are no trails or roads leading to it. But here's the interesting thing. It is surrounded by a lot of dried riverbeds, meaning that during the Sahara's green age, this area would have had tons of fresh water and would have been the perfect place to live. But could this site really be between 5,000 to 11,000 years old? If it is, it would be the first of its kind ever discovered in the Sahara. So let's try investigate it in person and find out. We are here in sunny Morocco. It's not exactly warm, but it is sunny, and that is a treat. My goodness, this site looks incredible from Google Earth, and it is totally undocumented. There's no trail to it at all. So instead, my plan was to follow this dried river, which would guide me through the valley straight to the mountain I'd need to climb. But before I could even reach the riverbed, I found something incredible hidden on the side of this rocky valley. All along these rocks are carvings. Oh my goodness, there's so many of them. Look at this. And these are clearly camels. You got people riding horses or camels. This dude looks like he's got a shield and a sword maybe, and he's fighting a thing. There used to be lions here, so maybe it's that. There's tons of them. Absolutely tons of them. And that's just on one rock face. Here you got some more right here. This kind of look like giraffes. Some more up here. Definitely a camel. They just keep on going up. There's so many of them. How'd they even get up there? My goodness, there's tons. Now there is a strong chance that these carvings date back to the Sahara's green age, because they appear to show animals that no longer live here, like giraffes and maybe even a lion. So the question is, were they made by the same people who built the site I was heading towards? If I could find similar carvings closer to it, it would be strong evidence of the lost Sahara civilization. So as I continued on my hike, I kept my eyes peeled for more ancient clues. And it didn't take long until I found something. Do you see that cut between the two mountains? That is where we're heading. This sort of ravine and canyon should carve through and give us a clear enough route to the structure. Passing by our first sort of man-made structure here. Stone circle. Very interesting. Perhaps foundational bricks of something. But this was only the beginning of the discoveries, because as I made my way deeper into this remote valley, I began to find more evidence of ancient human activity. We got some more rock carvings. Oh man, it's just so cool. How long ago were these made? Two circles there. The most clear one right there. Look at that. Now, is that an animal or is that an ancient symbol? We got circles, circle with a line through it. And then here, look at this. This looks like ancient writing. Wow, I can see tons. Oh my goodness. I can't stop at every rock carving I'm gonna see because I will just never leave this valley, but when I see a big clump like this, I gotta show you. Phew, that looks like a goat maybe. Clearly, ancient humans were very active in this valley, but it's not just what I've found today that supports this theory. One of the oldest pieces of pottery in the world was discovered in this desert, dating back to almost 10,000 years ago. And as I moved deeper into the valley and closer to the structure, the signs of ancient human activity only increased. You've definitely got an old foundational structure for maybe a pen for animals or something else. Got more obvious ones here too. Look at this one, very clearly man-made structure. Look here, you can see carvings on this rock face. Not far from the ruins that I saw earlier, so definitely connected. And look at those weird ones down there, those triangles. I wonder if that's the symbol of the tribe or ancient writing. That is the mountain we're heading up to, right at the end of the valley. We are getting close now, and soon we'll begin the hard ascent. I've just got to figure out what is the best way up this mountain. It looks pretty steep from here. Up until this point, the hiking had been pretty easy, but now the difficulty level would go up drastically, because without a trail to follow, I'd need to find some way up this steep mountain to reach the mysterious site hidden on its summit. So I'm just gonna walk around the base, see if I can find a smooth point leading me up to the summit, and then follow it on up. It is in such a beautiful and remote place. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm taking it really slow this hike. I don't think I'll have much choice to really push it in this next hour, but we got it. Let's do this thing. Just along the base of the mountain, we're coming across more man-made walls here. Yeah, just small stone structures. Definitely man-made. Seems to be a lot more actually lining here. I think I am making the right direction. We are beginning to hit into the ruins. Look at this one. Yeah, this is clearly the structural foundation. Probably a small home. Actually step inside. Even see the multiple rooms here. Loads more lining up there. That looks like a good ridge to attack as well. Hopefully anyway. Let's try. And look at this as I climb up. More stone structures just beside me. Loads more going this way. Also going that way. I don't know how clear it is on camera because it's built from the same stones. Let's see what's at the top. My guess would be probably something defensive. But nothing could have prepared me for the epic discovery that awaited me on the summit of this mountain. And as I climbed up the steep cliffside to reach it, I began to find more and more ruins. The higher we climb, the bigger the ruins are getting and the better preserved they are, which makes little sense to me. They would have to battle more elements. It was tough hiking, especially because I was feeling sick. But the constant discovery of more and more ruins helped fuel me to climb higher and higher up the steep mountainside. Here you can see a doorway. Just there. An hour went by and soon I was standing far above the valley. But that's when I made another crazy discovery. There were even more ruins that stretched further into the valley. This was not just one remote mountain settlement. It must have been part of a larger chain that called this whole mountain range home. And later Google Earth investigating would prove this, as I found more similar sites sat on mountaintops nearby, all undocumented. What had I found out here? I hope by reaching the summit I'd be able to uncover this mystery. But things were getting tough. Yeah, feeling not 100% at all on this hike. And with the terrain getting steeper and the wind really starting to blow in hard, I was running out of energy fast. The higher I'm climbing, the more ruins I am finding. This mountain is huge and long. It could have definitely supported a city back in the day. It's amazing that anyone built it. This is such a remote area. When you're out in the open, the wind blasts you. I'm just amazed that ancient people managed to create a life up here. Such a harsh environment. Oh. As I said before, I am quite sick today, so I'm gonna leave my bag and do the last half kilometer without the bag. Otherwise, I don't think I'll make it up. Oh, I wish I was in better form to check this out, but sometimes you don't get to choose how you feel in the day. You just gotta do what you can. Whew, let's do this thing. I was now so close to the summit, but was completely exhausted. Still, I was determined to reach the Google Earth structure and try and unveil the truth of who built it and when. Oh my goodness, we have made it. So I'm just hiding behind one of the stone rocks because it is so windy. This here that I'm beside is definitely an old defensive wall that runs along the entire summit, and then inside looks to be the crumbling remains of tons of buildings. We had finally reached the summit and the structure that sat on top of it. What you're looking at here is potentially world first footage of this ancient site. And now that I had arrived in person, the real investigating could begin. My goal was to walk through the rocky rubble and answer 3 main questions. Who built this? Why did they build it? And when? Looking around, the why seemed pretty obvious. It looked like the remnants of a large defensive settlement. Outside, there was a large stone wall that went around the whole perimeter, most likely built for protection. And inside, you can see what looks like the remnants of small homes. And by the amount of them scattered across the summit, hundreds, if not thousands of people could have once lived here. But the who and when were not so easy answers to solve. Looking around the site, I kept my my eyes peeled for any carvings or pottery hidden among the ruins, but could find absolutely nothing. All that remained on this summit were rock ruins. Clearly, ancient people lived not just on this mountain summit, but across the entire range it sat in. But who these people were, and if they lived here during the Sahara's green period, was still a total mystery. But I did have one more ace up my sleeve. Hiking back to the car, I show my local guide Mustafa images of the carvings to get his thoughts on them.
Carvings are like carved by the Berbers, because like I can see some like Berber alphabet on the side. Yeah, like the letter M and A.
Why do you think they would carve in the stone? Is it just to like mark territory, like we're here?
I think it's because like they just carve what they see. How was the lifestyle in the past?
Do you think they're probably connected to the ruins that I saw?
I think so. Maybe it's a Berber village in the past.
This was incredible information to find out. Berbers are the original people of North Africa, so it makes sense that they would have made these carvings and lived on the mountain summit. But what was most incredible was that thanks to Mustafa, I now knew the language of these ancient carvings, meaning with the help of AI, I was able to decode them and find out what they were actually saying. The AI decoding here, just full transparency, might not be 100% accurate, but with this previous information that it's likely ancient Berber carvings, I do think we can prompt it pretty well and hopefully get some accurate readings. The first thing that AI is saying here is that waving lines often mean water. That makes sense because this was right beside the dried riverbed. Then we've got here, crosses often mean territory of a clan. So this could be a clan saying this is our area, maybe this is our river. A U, which we have here, that can mean shelter or protected area. And that's very interesting because that's found just a few hours walk away from the site on top of the mountaintop. So could this carving be referencing a version of that site on the mountaintop? This one appears to be a bit of a name tag to someone or a group of people that were here. The translation AI is giving me for this one is this place belongs to insert name or clan name. Next we got the circles on the rocks. I'm just using this one as an example, but throughout my exploration of that valley I found lots of carved circles, and AI is saying that this often means a water source. That's very interesting. We now got two strong mentions of water. So this next one is pretty cool. So apparently this is symbolizing a snake, and snake symbology was used often to mean water. And now we got the final ones. It's these upside down triangles. AI is saying that these are symbols of water and fertility. From decoding these ancient carvings, the most consistent message was clear. Water is here, which is surprising given the fact that the landscape it is found in today is barren and dry. To me, this suggests further evidence that these carvings were made at a time when this now dried river flowed, which would have most likely been during the Sahara's green period. But now it was time to continue the adventure and head deeper into the desert, because we had another site to investigate, and this one was far more isolated. Could this be linked to the site I just explored, or was it hidden evidence of another lost civilization of the Sahara? The only way to find out was to explore it in person, but that would have to wait for tomorrow. I was exhausted, and thankfully there was a desert camp along the route we could stop for a much needed rest. We have reached the desert camp. Oh, we got a friendly desert dog too. Hiya. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Mohammed, nice to meet you, Mohammed. I'm Josh. This is base camp before we head off into the desert to find the strange structure. Unbelievable, we're in actual dunes. Hi. What a good boy. Friendly dune dog. Hi, dune dog. Oh, this is beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Mustafa, this is your first time in the desert, right? You're from the Sahara, right? That's where you were born.
This is my homeland.
So cool. Do you have any tips for desert survival?
There is no data in the desert. You have to use the stars. I can see the west like this, and where is the north, and where is the south.
You were saying before your father was a nomad, right? In the desert?
My whole family was a nomad. They have camels and goats, and they go like by the stars. Yeah.
That's incredible. That is like true desert survival. So this is called kufta, right?
Kofta, yes, meatballs. And this is Moroccan salad.
Uh-huh.
And this one is rice with green beans.
We're gonna eat some lunch in the desert. It's so epic, man. This is just ultimate bucket list stuff. I wasn't gonna vlog eating, and then I took a bite. This is unbelievable. Sorry, I just wanted to give that quick update. Now we'll see you in a bit. So this is my tent for the night. Inside, you got a big bed. This is where it starts getting crazy. Let me show you inside. There's a shower in my tent. Sink. Toilet. Look at that. It's much nicer than the tent I usually go on adventures with. Let's go climb a dune. Wow, look at this. We're in a desert, all right. We are going to be delving somewhere this way, I believe. Tomorrow we got quite a bit of driving to do. We're going to go really remote in and then do some hiking too. I'm going to rest up, get ready for tomorrow because it is going to be epic, but I think also quite intense. So as the sun set over our desert camp, it was time to prepare because tomorrow would be the toughest and most dangerous part of this adventure. The site I planned on exploring sits near the Algeria-Morocco border, an area with heavy military presence, and I had no idea if I was even allowed to be there. The only way to find out was to go in person and hope for the best. Oh. You were saying you haven't been to this place before, right?
No, I have never. Maybe we're gonna get lost.
Great.
We have enough gas, we have enough water, we have enough food.
So if we get
if we get lost, we're gonna just wait until it's dark and then we can navigate with the stars.
The plan for today was simple. Drive deep into the desert until the high dunes stopped us. And from there, I'd hike the final stretch to the structure alone. That is, if the military didn't stop us first. I must say, I'm a little nervous, Mustafa.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah?
You don't have to be afraid.
So we can see something in the distance just on the horizon. We're gonna go check it out. I'm gonna jump out and quickly look around. Yeah, it looks like an old mud and plaster house. Look where it is located. We're absolutely in the middle of nowhere. This isn't even the structure that I found on Google Earth. Let's have a little look around, see if we can figure out what this building once was and why it's out here. I reckon these are your toilets in here. Room here. Check out the view. There is nothing really left, it's just the skeleton remains of the house. But just as we were about to leave, I then noticed something else strange on the horizon. It actually looks like there's some other structures just over there, half buried in the sand. I think we'll go drive over there and check them out. And arriving at the next site, we had no idea just how incredible this discovery was gonna be. Alrighty guys, I just want to pause the adventure there to thank today's sponsor of the adventure, and that is eSIM.io. What I think is really cool about eSIM.io is the fact that it has the one SIM card feature. This means you just download one SIM card and it'll work in over 190 countries. So wherever you go, you will have access to data. You don't even have to think about it. You can control how much data you use rather than buying a package for 20 gigabytes of data. You can just pay as you go the exact amount of data you use, which I think is pretty darn awesome. And I got some exciting news for you guys. eSIM.io have set me up with a discount code. For your first ever top up, you get 100% cash back. Just go into the app, and when you do your first ever top up, just type in the code JOSH100 and you will get an extra 100% cash back added to your balance. So put in $20, you get an extra $20. If you put 50 in, you get an extra 50 just for free. Super awesome. So go check them out. Link in the description. Big thank you to eSIM for making this adventure possible. Let's get back into it. This looks crazy. Beautiful building. Looks like you have some carvings in here, but they seem to have weathered away. But you can see a heart. That's a good sign, right? I think so. We're in the inner layer now. I don't know why I'm so nervous. It's just a feeling about this place. It's out here in the desert. Let's see if it's open. Oh, wow. Oh, I think it's a tomb. And you've got something hung up there. Wow. I will not disturb that. I will leave it be. Definitely not go any more inside. So this is a remote tomb out here in the Sahara. I wonder why, but obviously someone very important to build this out here. Just on the outside of the building, I've noticed something. Here is like an old pottery jug here. It looks very old. I'll leave it exactly as I found it. I want to be really respectful of these sites. We're out here in the desert, man, there's just such a feeling of overwhelming isolation. This is really unbelievable.
So, next to the mausoleum, as you can see, to this building, there
Yeah.
are some graveyards.
How old do you think this is?
Maybe 400 years, 300 years. We don't know exactly how much.
And do you know who's buried there?
A holy person called Sidi Naji.
And you think maybe they were buried 300, 400 years ago there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But beside the graveyard stood something else strange. A huge, unknown structure buried in the sand. I'm sure if you dug away this sand here, you would find an outer wall. Same on this side, you can see it mounds up. Flat here and then mounds up. It looked like it could be the remnants of an ancient fortified village. But with little remaining, it was hard to tell. All right, we are inside the walled perimeter now. So if this was a village, here would have been where the houses are. Defended by the outer wall, we can just barely see remnants of. Oh, here looks like what would have been the entranceway in the wall. You can see the mound gives way just here. Maybe this would have been the old gate to allow you into the village. Here we go, coming up to another big ruin bit. Wow, that's the most clear ruin there. I'm noticing there's a lot of holes in the actual wall. That is quite interesting. Maybe that is where wood support beams were once, or some of them are filled up with a different type of stone. Maybe it's just the architecture of the time. If this really was a village, living isolated out here would have been almost impossible, unless we go back to the Sahara's Green Age. But that's not the only explanation. There is another, actually far more likely one, as to how people could survive out here. Maybe it used to be on an old trade route, when there were caravans of traders that would go through the Sahara carrying silks from China and maybe even have a small market going. Then the caravans disappeared and so did the village after that. Whatever its origins, it was incredible to see. But now we had to keep on moving. We still had a lot of distance to cover to reach the main structure I'd found on Google Earth. So we continued driving deeper into the desert. As the terrain got wilder, the ride got bumpier until finally the car could go no further. This is the stop point.
Yeah.
As far as the car goes, I'm gonna continue on solo.
See you never.
See you never, can you
See you
believe it?
never.
Honestly. I'm just gonna get my gear ready and then we are heading into the desert.
Come now.
Thank you, Mustafa. Bye. Into the desert. This is pretty darn crazy. It is roughly this direction. There's no trail, so I am just going to figure my own way through, and I'm just gonna weave through the desert dunes till I hopefully find the site. In the desert, it is so easy to get lost. I have to be really careful, keep checking my maps, make sure I'm still heading in the right way. Getting lost is the #1 biggest danger I will face today. If I get lost out here in the Sahara, things could turn deadly fast. I am nervous, but excited. Oh, found some wildlife. We got a little dune beetle. What's up, my man? We're gonna call you Frank. It's nice to meet you. See you later, Frank. I had never hiked in this sort of landscape before, and it was honestly so awesome. But as I was also making my way closer and closer to the dangerous border area, I was beginning to feel more and more nervous being out here. Oh, all right, guys. Gonna take 5 minutes just to have a little snack. Just want to keep myself fueled, not close to dehydration at all. Seems like a good place to do it, sheltered from the wind. I'm gonna try and get up to that dune. It is definitely the highest dune in the area, and so hopefully from there I can see where the structure is and more easily navigate. Got some tracks here. Look at this. Maybe desert fox? Looks quite small. Don't know, hopefully we can see some wildlife on this trail. Let's get up to this dune. Ooh, it's a good workout. All right, we have made it to the highest dune. I think I might see something that could be it. We're still quite a bit away, but I can see what looks like 2 towers sticking out through the sand. I reckon probably another 2 miles away. I'm just gonna hit a straight line right towards it. What on earth is it? It must have been such an effort to build something so remote. But maybe when it was first built, the Sahara Desert wasn't as maybe harsh as it is today. Maybe if it's something ancient, the climate was a bit better back then. With this structure now in my sights, I made a straight line for it. Joined, of course, by Frank the desert beetle. As I hiked, I scanned the valley for more wildlife. But apart from a few tracks, there was nothing. This place was completely desolate, which only raised more questions. Why would you build something out here? Could it have been made during the Sahara's Green Age, when this land would have been easier to survive in? As I drew closer, I began to see signs it just might have been. The landscape as we get closer to this structure has changed. We got dried lakes or riverbeds. Between 11,000 and 5,000 years ago, these rivers and lakes would have been full of fresh water, making this the perfect place to live until the climate shifted around 4,000 years ago, turning it into the desert we see today. But it wasn't just the riverbeds that hinted at ancient life, because soon I spotted something far more compelling: pottery. As I'd mentioned earlier, some of the oldest pottery in the world has been found in this desert. But that wasn't all. I also found a clearly carved stone wheel. There was no telling how old these finds were, but I hope the answers were waiting for me at the structure. However, with each step I took towards it, I was also getting closer and closer to the dangerous border area. I just hope they don't shoot first, ask questions later. That is definitely playing on my mind now a bit. We're almost there now. Super close. There's 3 buildings. 1 small, 1 medium, and 1 tall. I can't believe we're here. It is so isolated out here. Oh my goodness. You can see the 3 buildings. 1, 2, 3. This looks far more ancient than the other structures we found in the desert. The middle one looks the best preserved. The other 2 look older. It's very unusual. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. There looks to be entranceways in 2 of the buildings, not this small one, but these 2. If they're not locked, let's go inside. I can also see what I think is some Arabic writing on the middle one. Let's go check it out. Let me know in the comments if anyone can read this. Beside it, there is actually an entranceway into this small one. And beside it is a bucket with shoes. Let's see what's in there. Just a very basic building. Maybe a basic shelter. Let's go to the middle one now. Seems to be open. Assalamu alaikum. It's a tomb. This must be another burial site of a holy person. I don't want to spend too long in there. This is obviously a sacred site. Let's check out the 3rd building. Assalamu alaikum. This is like a tower of some sort. You got somewhere to burn a candle there. You got a heart made out of metal there. That's nice. Close it and leave it as I found it. I wonder if this is a mosque. Mosques in Morocco have a similar style tower. So these are obviously holy sites. I didn't want to spend too long inside them because I don't really know the proper customs when it comes to the site of a holy person here. So I apologize if I have done something wrong. I have no idea, and I mean no disrespect, but it's very beautiful. It's insanely isolated. I cannot believe that this is out here. And it looks like I'm not the only person that comes here, that's for sure. The insides are pretty well maintained, particularly in the middle building. The fact that it is likely an Islamic tomb means it's probably around 1,000 years old. Ancient, but not prehistoric. And later, when I looked into it online, I found almost no documented history of this specific site, except for one extraordinary event. In 1994, an Italian runner lost during a race in the Sahara took shelter here for 9 days. This shrine basically saved his life. And this may not be the whole story. Shrines like this were also sometimes built on top of older sites, which means this location could predate the tomb itself. So while a green Sahara origin seems unlikely, it can't be ruled out entirely. It has been incredible to see, but I cannot spend any more time than I have here. It's Mustafa! I didn't get arrested by the military. Oh, you got a fire going.
Yes, the fire. We're gonna have a picnic.
A picnic? Nice! Oh, best way to celebrate a hike.
A picnic in the middle of the desert.
That's awesome. What an absolutely incredible adventure this had been. We had explored undocumented mountaintop sites and mysterious Sahara structures. And sitting here now, preparing a desert picnic with the legend Mustafa seemed like the perfect way to end it. We had certainly stripped away the mystery of many of the sites we'd investigated. The isolated structure in the desert is a tomb that is most likely 1,000 years old at max. The earlier desert discoveries likely sit in a similar time frame, perhaps on an old Sahara trading route. But things do get more mysterious and ancient with the carvings and the mountaintop site. I do believe we have strong evidence to suggest that these could have been built during the Sahara's green period. The very carvings themselves suggest this with the animals shown and the potential decoded messages of water and fertile lands. But absolutely nothing is certain, and more investigating needs to be done to know for sure. But that would have to wait for another adventure, because it was time me and Mustafa rewarded our efforts with a well-deserved desert picnic. I want to also give a special shout out to Morocco Private Tours for helping make this trip possible. If you're interested in exploring or traveling in Morocco yourself, please go check them out in the link below. Oh, Mustafa, thank you so much, man.
No, very welcome.
Honestly,
Yeah.
not just for this, but for an incredible trip in Morocco. This is the final adventure.
Yeah.
It's been almost a week together. You're showing me around amazing places.
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Until next time, see you guys. Bye. Bye.